actually accepting it.
Yeah, but you've already got some really nice shots under your belt. I'm still working on it.
Oh,
so. But
thank you.
so have you guys heard of the software called PixInsight? You probably have.
Yes.
So that's a really nice piece of software. I mean, huge number of functions, and it may take years to figure it out, but a lot of tutorials on it and everything. So
It's not that hard.
really? Okay.
Get into it, it's pretty good.
They
It's
give
a
you
different philosophy than Photoshop.
Yeah, they give you a 45-day trial. So I'm going to do that because otherwise it's like over $200, I guess, to buy it. But I think I'm probably going to end up buying it as long as it isn't like too hard to use. But anyway.
Which program again?
PixInsight.
PixInsight, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just look up, PixInsight, just Insight spelled the right way.
There's all sorts of tutorials all over the internet too.
Yeah.
What does this program do?
It does everything front to back. It's what I use is a comment from old school before PixInsight was developed. I use a program called CCD Stack to do all of the calibrations, and then I put it into Photoshop and do Photoshop. PixInsight does all that in one program.
Okay.
Front to back.
Yeah, and so Photoshop is, it's made as a general image processing tool, whereas PixInsight is specifically made for astrophotography,
right?
Which is nice. So yeah. And it's even like I was just watching a video a half hour ago on a guy where they're just, I mean, hundreds of functions that you can use, and you can set up basically your own workflow. If you do like a cropping, and then you do a histogram, and then you do this, you do that, and you can set up basically a workflow. So if you process images in a certain way, you can repeat that methodology. So it's kind of cool that way.
And you've been trying that, or you just discovered it, or?
No, I literally just got the link today to download it. So I've just been like watching the tutorials, and I was going to pass on it because I thought I was going to go with GIMP, and I have GIMP, which is a free GNU, software, and that's alternative to Adobe Photoshop. But I thought, hey, if this other thing has these functions that are specifically made, to astrophotography, why not give it a try? So,
it's becoming the key software for top end for imaging processing.
Yeah. So, which is good, because if it's in wide use like that, there's a lot of support out there for it too.
There's lots of it.
I also looked on Facebook, and I joined a astrophotography group. And some pretty unbelievable images and stuff those guys put up on the site, So, and I'll look for some of those and pull them up later. You think to me maybe the moon seems boring. Everybody's done the moon. This one guy did the moon with the most unbelievable shot. I'll search around, find it, and bring it. Do a share thing later for it.
Yeah, the moon, like most extended objects, it's very difficult to get very high definition on it, but you can do it, and it makes the shot very dramatic.
Yeah, well, this guy's doing sort of a false background and trying to make it 3D, and he did something like, I think it's 30,000 images using video, and you get these unbelievable colors coming out, from the volcanic areas of the moon. So anyway, I'll pull that up and show that a little bit later.
Okay. Well, I'd like to show the pictures of
actually one of the members in my club is doing a very good job of using his cell phone with an adapter on his he's got like a 12-inch Dobsonian, and he's getting rills on the moon.
Nice.
Well, let me go and show you the pictures of Gary's cave that we talked about last time.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, how's it going?
And Hank.
Hey,
Hey there.
Hey, Hank.
I wonder where they are. Let's see here. Just a minute. So,
This about 10 years, Jerry?
what's that?
Did we do this like 10 years ago?
About that. Can you all see a picture?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
That's a close-up of
Old
the,
tech.
Astrola.
that looks like Army surplus.
It's all cast iron, and although it does have some nice features, it's very solid. It's I divide astronomy up into sort of a before intelligence and after intelligence. And the people set up these things in the 50s and 60s. That was when they just made it work. But since then, things have become very easy and convenient to work. And that's the dividing line, I guess, before convenience and after convenience. And this is definitely before convenience.
Yeah.
It's
Those are the same bearings I have in a U-joint on a car, the Needle bearings.
that's probably where he got them.
Yeah.
So, and we did this, we documented everything that we took apart. This is the declination drive, which it's basically two things hooked to the housing and the other one to the declination shaft. And then it's a tangent arm. It's a screw that drives it over a limited distance.
Los Mandy's original mount had a tangent arm deck, slow
Yes.
motion, believe it or not.
They did. And here's Gary checking out another bearing, a roller bearing, a ball bearing this time.
Oh, yeah.
This is the right ascension shaft. You can see the part that was inside the housing and the part where the weights went. And this is the setting circle on the back of the right ascension drive. And this is the housing for the right ascension drive, which is based on a clock drive, an AC clock drive. And this is the gear, nice gear. It was a very good drive, but electrically it's inconvenient to use. It just has one rate. And I had one of these like this in the 50s when I was starting out, in the late 50s, early 60s. And I made a wine bridge oscillator to change the frequency of the AC current that was coming out. And that's how you change the drive speed to do correction for astro imaging. And then you have to be very closely aligned with the pole. This shows again the gear and the housing. And we're taking all this stuff apart. There it is apart. Housing, the top of the mount. And we're taking apart the center of the right ascension housing here. A lot of things were jammed up in there. Yes?
You had to take that bearing out with a sledgehammer and another rod,
Yeah.
iron rod. I couldn't believe it. Having a sledgehammer with a telescope.
Yeah, it needed a delicate touch.
Yeah.
There was a period I worked my way through college by working in the summer as a carpenter. And the phrase among carpenters was, sure, it'll fit. You're just not using a big enough hammer.
That was that.
So that was our way of getting apart. And this is memorizing the motor, or make sure we got the leads right. Here we are trying to loosen the thing up before we resorted to a sledgehammer. And taking the top off, we got the bearings apart. It's the right ascension housing.
Yeah, look at the legs, the paint,
Yeah, this is the
corrosion.
the legs for the mount.
Well, you were living dangerously working on grass.
Yeah. Yes, we were, but we didn't lose any little nuts and bolts. This is a 6-inch diameter F4, F16 Cassegrain that was used as a guide scope on the cage mount. With Gary's permission, I gave this to Art, and he later sold it to.
I bet Jurgen.
Jurgen, that's it. Thank you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. There's the drive. There's the 6-inch cast.
We got like 5 telescopes with that.
Yes.
There's like 4 other telescopes that I got in one day.
Okay, we're back to the start on that. Let me go to the other. Okay, this is Gary. I forgot what we're doing there. First of all, cleaning the holes and then making new holes and filling old holes.
Yeah.
The tube, it's an 8-inch F8. The tube is fiberglass. It's very thick fiberglass. And the inside was rough finished and then painted with black paint with sand in it.
Then overcoated with mud.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, when we got it, his telescope mirror, the main mirror, actually was half covered with mud. So we very carefully turned it upside down in a plastic bowl and suspended it and let the mud soak off for a while. We did it came very clean. We didn't have to refinish it at all.
Wow.
So we're looking in putting in the spider back in. Oh, we're still vacuuming out the debris from all the loose stuff that the tube kept exfoliating on us. It's probably made in the 1950s or something.
Now, where did you get all this?
Gary, a friend of Gary's gave it to him.
A friend gave it to me. He was old and he couldn't do it anymore. He just
Is this just recently, or is this a while back?
10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, okay.
He still has the telescope. This is a moonlight focuser. I don't think that came on the.
No, it didn't. It's extra.
We added that.
Extra.
Nice focuser. Nice rings. Now Gary's repainted this in gold.
Wow.
Striking telescope. Here we've got some rings on it and dovetail plates, and we're doing the alignment on the secondary.
That looks nice.
Yeah, it's a good job. Came out real nice. And there it is set up on my mount in my backyard. And we, oh, that tree's not there anymore. And so we set it up. The sky did clear quite a bit, and we used it that night for some good observing.
You're looking at Saturn.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what the scope looks now. This is a wood adapter that we made to fit it on the dovetail, so I could get it on my mount.
There's rotating rings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good little scope. Little inconvenient, little heavy. But other than that, it's quite good.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm selling it.
You will what?
I'm trying to sell it.
Yeah. Good luck. It's like caves are like unitrons. They're better to look at than look through.
Yeah, that's the telescope I want. That one that girl's holding.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it? You guys were talking about cave before. What does cave mean? Is that?
Oh, it's the last name of an amateur astronomer in Los Angeles named Thomas Cave.
Oh, okay.
I was in the Los Angeles Astronomical Society in the early 60s while I was in college. And Tom Cave would give his Mars report at every meeting of the club. We met in the big planetarium dome of the Griffith Observatory. And it's a big club. And he would always talk about Mars. He had made for himself a 12.5-inch f11 telescope.
Wow.
He used to look at Mars, a Newtonian.
Is that Thomas Cave there?
That looks like him. It's a little blurry. He's older.
Yeah.
Tom Cave.
Caption says it's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Did you guys get my the email I sent you on the that cave mirror I had. I sent you some images
Yeah.
of the side of the
Yes.
mirror.
Yeah, got that.
That was kind of interesting. The guy that got back to me on that was really cool. He was explaining all this stuff about how they made the mistake on the dates on it.
Okay.
So did that guy make all those mirrors himself? His
No,
name?
he didn't. He started making mirrors and he's good at it. But then he hired a bunch of people to do his optical fabrication. Some of them are quite famous and some of them signed their mirrors. And so some of them like that are very, very sought after. Was a guy named A.K. Herring, or his first name was Alika, and he was a Hawaiian guy. And he produced nominally the best, or what's reputed to be the best cave mirrors. Phenomenal, good glass. But there are some out there also that are fairly mediocre.
I heard some are just bad, just bad.
That's what I was calling mediocre.
Kind word.
Yeah. So.
No,
So
this
Jerry,
is-
Jerry, did you want to show your 18-inch cell, that mirror cell that you made? And you might want to go to speaker view if Jerry holds this up to the screen here. Instead of gallery view, go to speaker view up in the upper right-hand corner.
So, yeah, this is one of the parts for the 18-inch that I had made. I've got 3 more parts to make. So.
Was that machined?
Yeah, this is machined out of
You can go to speaker.
6061
Yeah.
aluminum.
Okay.
It's actually the big parts, the big arcs and stuff are cut with a water jet. So there's a very slight taper to it, but you can't tell. It looks like it's machined. Only on close examination can you tell that it's not actually felt a metal tool.
Why is it tapered?
Because that's the way water jets cut it. The water jet, it's very high speed, high pressure water that comes out, and it slowly spreads out a teeny bit as it goes down. So it leaves a taper on the side.
Oh.
But in many of the cases, you really don't care that much. So the parts that have to fit real close, they're milled.
Jerry, that's the one that you told me that you designed with software on your laptop on your computer.
Yeah.
And then took it down and it matched the guy's CNC machine. And so
I make it in a format that it's CNC compatible, and then I send it to him. And then because he has to write the CNC code. And so I give him a design that's already compatible with that. It saves a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So he literally just put that in, entered that in, and then pushed a button and bingo.
I wouldn't say it was that simple, but it was close. So I can show you some of the drawings I think I have here. Let me see.
Yeah, that'd be cool, because I think you showed me at one time how you made this with the software that you made. I mean, it wasn't just machining that, it was the software that you spent money on to design it. And
I have pretty cheap software. That was my choice of the software, was how inexpensive it was. Let's see, image processing instructions, software telescopes, custom machine, 18-inch newts.
So I'm unfamiliar. Is this a work in progress? You're working on an
18-inch? It's a work in progress.
Okay.
It's going to take a few minutes.
At least 6 years old, I think.
It's what?
You've been working on
I've been
it for
working
at least
on it
6 years.
2016.
Yeah, that's when I joined the club.
Okay. Now, if I can find where you guys are again. Okay.
Again, what software were you using? Because I have a lousy connection here.
I'm using TurboCAD. This is
TurboCAD?
TurboCAD. This is one of the dimension drawings. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the thing that's going to fit in the back of the tube, and it's going to hold the mirror cell up. And it's got push-pull bolts here. So, and it's about 1/2 inch thick aluminum. It'll be cut out of a solid plug. and there'll be 3 1/4 inch, quarter 20 screw holes in each of these things to connect to the carbon fiber tube.
Yeah, this is new. I haven't seen this one.
Okay, well, this is, anyway, this one I've got to add dimensions and let's see. Boy, it's really hard to think when you're doing this. There we are, focuser mount. CF tube version.
Can't walk and plate solve at the same time.
Oh, this is the mount that will go on the tube on the outside to hold on the focuser. And it's a Optotech 3-inch diameter focuser. So that because the beam is real acute, not acute. It's a fast cone, so you don't want to have a restriction in there. So that, and I've got to dimension that. And then there's another plate just like this, but with no central aperture like this that I can hook counterweights onto to counterweight the camera. And so those are the last 3 parts. And then I should get that together.
The curvature fits the tube?
What's that? Oh, yes, the curve here, it just looks like straight lines in this rendering, but it's actually a curve that fits the tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Have you already made the mirror, Jerry?
yeah, the mirror is all finished. And I've got the optics for it. I've got a flat field or a coma corrector and a secondary mirror for it. One of the things that spurred this project for me was that each year I attend an imaging conference up in San Jose. Every 2 years they have it, I guess, called the Advanced Imaging Conference. And at the end of it, they have drawings and they give away equipment that's donated from sponsors. And one of the things that I won one year was a 3-inch coma corrector.
Ooh.
Worth several $1,000s. So I thought, this is a sign from heaven. So we're going to use it someday.
How does the coma corrector work?
Pretty good. So how it works?
Oh.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure optically how it works. I know there's a number of different designs that are used. And I'm going to forget the name of them, but the Palomar Observatory uses a 3-element, I think it's a 3-element cemented triplet for coma correction on the 200-inch telescope. And that's called a Ross corrector plate. And then Teleview has one that is probably the best one. It's designed for very wide field, and he designs them for very fast systems. He has one for F6 to F4 and one for F4 and faster. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they give you needle sharp images. I have one for another telescope. And then there's a Bader Instruments makes a coma corrector that I can't make it work at all. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a piece of junk.
It either lengthens the focal ratio or shortens it. I can't remember.
They lengthen it. The coma correctors all add 15% to your focal length. So an F4 becomes what's 4 times 15? Or it's 1.15 times 4. So do the math.
Yeah, that's 6.0.
My 18 inches an F3.8 primary, and it's going to be an F4.5 with the coma corrector in it.
That by itself is what corrects the coma.
Yeah, the coma corrector does. No, It's not just the length change that does it. It really comes out very nice. 4.5 over a wide field will still show a lot of coma.
Yeah, Nagler's coma corrector it's supposed to be. I mean, it's expensive, but anything if you go under 4.0, I think if you go sub F4, then you just automatically, you're going to buy one of those.
Huh, I got a lot of things open here.
What's that?
This is a it's a crystal lattice of, I forget the chemical, but it shows phonons. It shows oscillation of one particular frequency mode in the crystal. And when electrons try to get through this, you know, like if this were in a conductor, when electrons get through this, they are going down these alleyways and the atoms are vibrating back and forth, which is heat, it's temperature. And they, all of a sudden, they run into these atoms, which they would normally go around if they were still. And that scatters the electrons and it produces a kind of noise called Johnson noise in the current, also known as thermal noise because it's the source of it is the heat in the crystal. So that was an illustration for that. How do I get back to?
There you go.
Stop share. Yeah.
I don't see that. Oh, there it is. Okay, there.
Let's see.
Thanks for
a
that.
couple topics. Go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to say thanks. Thanks for that.
Oh, sure.
And again, I want to mention, you know, turn on your chat screen so you can see some of the links that I've been posting. And if you want to add anything yourself, any comments, it's a good way to go. Keep the little chat screen going.
Mm-hmm. So are we all getting ready for the December 20 when Jupiter and Saturn are going to be in the same field of view? And
yeah.
21st.
21st, yeah.
It looks like they're together for quite a bit of time, like from the 18th through the 24th, maybe. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll show you the stellarium screen that I have that's showing that.
On the prime night, Ganymede is going to be transiting Jupiter, so you're only going to get 3 Galilean moons.
That'll be the close point.
We'll borrow Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely going to try to get some shots of that however I can.
I'm going to have to find a new place to take a picture of that because I have a house in the way.
Are they down at sunset now?
No.
They're pretty low, but yeah, you got to get them early.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty close.
Yes. Does it show degrees on there?
It's a
Yeah, I think they're
degree.
Within a degree, I think, right?
let's see. I can't quite read these. Let's see, minutes. So it's 10 degrees, 21 minutes. So let's see. From here, let's see, I've got 20. Oh,
it's like 6 minutes of arc.
Yeah, that was 0.1 degrees or a fifth of the diameter of the moon or something like that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're getting really close.
Saturn is going to be as close to Jupiter as some of Jupiter's outer moons. I mean, you can see Callisto there.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, apparently.
Yeah.
So this is what, 6 o'clock on the 21st.
Yeah, it's got to be like a little distorted in that maybe the planets look too small for how close they are or something. Oh yeah, there we go.
And that red box is the what my camera area would be. So in stellarium, you could put in your sensor size.
Have you tried it in Telescopius also?
No.
Try that Telescopius, and I might be interested. I'll try that tomorrow. See how it compares with stellarium. I poked around a little with the stellarium one, but I really like the Telescopius one.
I'll have to look that up.
Is that a planetarium, Bob, program?
It's just an online website, and you can, like he was doing with stellarium, you can put in all your camera, astro camera, your focal length, put everything in there, and then and then you pick objects. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't do planets. Now that I think of it, it doesn't have planets. It's got nebula and galaxies and that sort of thing. And there might be something for planets I haven't found yet in there, but yeah, it'll show you the apparent size, so you can figure out, if you're using the right equipment to get the shot you want to get. Yeah, it's telescopius.com.
Let's go. Let's see. So here's different days. Let's see. I should try to lock in Jupiter in the center, and then change the date. So that's the 20th. And how do I do that? Oh yeah. Date time I can. The 19th, the 18th. Saturn is kind of up here now. But still 18th, it would still be within my camera sensor area, probably between Saturn and Jupiter. So be several days you could try to get them both in view.
Which means we'll get about a week of clouds.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's when the hurricane will hit.
Yeah,
Go
we're
to
getting
AccuWeather.
rain up here next week.
Oh, the other thing we should take a look at is let me back out here.
I was watching the altitude off there on the left.
All right.
It was getting down to like 10 degrees.
Oh, that's
me
getting
see.
low.
Where was I? I could close this. Wanted to go to December 12th. There's something happening. What's happening December 12th, I think?
On the
The moon
16th,
is
get a nice
moon
little
is
crescent
going to
moon, I think.
Moon.
Right.
5 days before Beethoven's birthday.
Let's see, I'm gonna go to Venus. Oh, there's
Yeah, that's right. The 12th is the moon occulting Venus during the day.
Oh, that's
Right.
right. The 12th.
Oops, up one. Where am I at here? That's Venus. Where's the moon?
Should be right close. At about 1 p.m.
Looks like Saturn's really close.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Let's see. This is 12/12. Let's have the
What
wrong.
year?
No, it's
Oh yeah, I got 2019 in there. Hold on, let me change the year. There we
you
go.
there you are.
Oh, wow.
Well, now I don't need to go out inside and look at it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What time of day is this? This is in the morning, isn't it?
It's about 1 p.m.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow, Venus is up at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not real high.
Yeah, it's not real high. Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
where is this?
The altitude, 22 degrees.
Oh yeah. Oh, here the horizon's
Nice.
down here. The west is over here. So yeah, there's
Where's the west, Tom?
over this direction.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it's 20, yeah, like Chuck says, 22 degrees above the horizon down here. In the
Almost directly
southwest.
southwest.
What was that, Chuck?
Almost directly southwest.
So my question is, Chuck, what's the best place to get a good view of that low on the horizon?
Good western horizon. You know, maybe some of the turnouts on Old San Marcos or Bacara.
Bacara would be
Good.
perfect. Bacara would be perfect.
Or I live near the
Right.
Douglas property, maybe the Douglas property.
Yeah.
You know,
Possible.
the coastline just above west of Bacara is now up for sale at public auction. They
Yeah.
want a whole
Or
bunch
Tom
of-
Whitmore's house.
What's that?
Oops.
Tom Moore's house.
Here I'm just showing. Or somebody get a shot like this, you know,
Yeah.
Jupiter and
I saw this back in the early 60s. One of the first things I saw with a telescope when I was starting out.
yeah, Saturn.
Very
Yeah.
impressive.
Bob, what year did this happen? Did that happen this year?
Now let's see. Good question. I'm not sure if this. Oh, this guy says November 21st at 9. That's probably just when he posted it. I'm not sure when it happened though.
That's great.
Very
Oh,
nice
yeah.
image.
Oh, actually, if it happened somewhere else in the world,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
could be recent.
So anybody else have some kind of subject to bring up?
Yeah, I'll just show you. I'm just going to show you here something pretty quick. Groups. Just this one group, this astrophotography group.
That looked cold with the ice on it there.
Some of the shots that people do, pretty amazing. Oh, that moon one I wanted to show you too. Let me find that. I downloaded it. This was the one, and I think he said he did something like 30,000 shots, you know, with video and post processing, and then put a sort of a false star background behind it. But I just thought this was pretty amazing. You know, the colors and everything.
We're still waiting to see it.
Oh. New share. How's that?
There you go.
Yeah. Color enhanced.
Holy cow.
I know. You've never seen the moon like this, right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, these colors and everything. And he did a lot of, you know, sort of trickery here. I think the bottom half is different imaging than the top, but, you know, he did just a huge number of video stacks and then did a false star background and little glow thing going and everything. But what?
A lot of work there. It's a good show.
Oh, yeah.
Did well.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
just amazing. So anyway.
Well, this isn't a great technical achievement, but last night, the ISS, from our point of view, passed through the Pleiades.
Yeah.
And so I did a 10-second exposure.
Oh, wow, great.
Centered around the time it was going through. And here's what that was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wish I had high-speed video to get little tiny ISSs going across.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
But instead, it's just a line.
Good star colors.
So Tom, I don't know. It's actually going to work on an iPad, but I did a little work on my 8-inch today, and I could try this share screen, but I'm not exactly sure how this will work.
Give it a try.
All right, the 8-inch. The 8-inch.
Yeah, the 8-inch. Oh, I don't even know how this is going to work. Just a whole drop down came screen photos. Oh, photos. Let's see if this will work. Okay, so I think these are the latest. See if that'll. Let's see if that'll come up.
So you click on screen share.
Yeah, I did.
And then you got to select the screen after.
Yeah, you got like 3 clicks going on there.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. So
You did it last week. You did it with the binocular thing.
Well, I was showing those images.
Oh, okay.
No, I got to get out of this. This is not working. Ah. I have no idea what I'm doing there. I clicked on, instead of screen, I clicked photos. And then I selected a photo, but it just didn't come up.
You probably have to select the program that's showing the photo, you know, that they have a window for.
Huh.
And then you have to do share screen down at the bottom here.
Yeah.
And you'll get a bunch of options and you select the one that's the one you want and then say share.
Maybe that's why maybe on iPad it's not going to work so good. Should I put screen or photos? Just screen, I guess. There's a drop down. When I clicked on share screen, I get screen, photos, iCloud, Drive, Dropbox, you know, all those things. So maybe
whatever's open on your iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to open it on your iPad and have it displayed, and then it will show up as one of those options.
Yeah.
You have it open already before you share.
Oh, I see. So
I don't know if
in
an
other
iPad,
words,
can an iPad do different windows?
Yes.
Then you got to ask Santa for a new computer for Christmas.
I don't think I know how to do this. So no, I don't even think I know how to do it.
So did anyone see the attempt to launch Starship today?
No.
No.
It aborted, I
do
heard.
his 12.5 kilometer straight up and then a belly flop re-entry and then turn the Starship over and do a tail landing. And they got down to, they had a countdown, and at the time that they said liftoff, all the fuel and the oxide went into the chamber, but the computer rejected lighting it off. So because there was something wrong, so it was an abort today.
Was it
So he had a
SpaceX?
bomb.
It was SpaceX within 1 second of lighting the engine.
Wow.
So
How long did it take him to drain it all away so it
I
wasn't?
don't know. They cut away after that, but I'm sure they're still draining and then push brooming the stuff away.
I thought they always shot water down below it so that, you
No,
know.
that's NASA.
Oh, so the SpaceX doesn't do that?
Elon just does concrete slab.
No.
So, and sometimes I guess a bit of the concrete spalled off and hit the spaceship and caused some damage on one of his earlier flights.
Yeah, guys, I don't know exactly how to do this. I tried everything. It's not working, but basically
email it maybe, and then somebody else could do it, or?
Yeah, I could try that. I could email a couple to Tom, but
it's trying to show us.
It's
oh,
there we go.
Yeah, this is at 34 seconds.
Wow, that looks like a rocket ship from the 1950s.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
They came around full circle.
Exactly, yeah. Technology is like reverting.
Yeah. Hollywood in the 50s knew to stand the thing up straight on its tail. But
even the smoke coming off, it looks like something from a 50s movie.
That's so he can do skywriting on the way up.
Yeah.
He's probably got a couple of Teslas in there.
Well, that one, that was just an earlier one. But he, what was it? The Teslas a month ago had just passed Mars, I guess.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah. See, now there goes the fuel and everything. But they didn't like it.
Where was this launch attempted at?
Texas.
This was around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
So where?
Where?
South Texas, Boca Chica.
Oh, Texas?
Yeah, Texas.
Okay, I sent a few to you, Tom.
All right, I'll look for email.
It'll go to your Gmail. I don't know what I'm doing on this screen share thing. It's just, having never done it, I have no clue on how it works.
I think it's tough on an iPad
Yeah, maybe so.
because they don't have multiple screens. Although the latest software, I think, did allow for multiple windows somehow.
An iPad will have multiple screens. You can have multiple tasks open and just shift between the different displays.
Yeah, I don't know how Zoom handles that. It'd be interesting. Images. So, how many images?
I sent 3, I think, and one of the things I was going to note to you guys is that I told you that when I'm seeing things inside R, I can get a fairly good image with an iPhone. But when I go outside R, I only get part of the disc. And so I started playing around with this stupid tester I have. You know, I had the way I have it, there's a window that you put a slide in front of the window. And the LED is fairly far away from the ronchi grating. And the slide the ronchi slide itself, the ronchi grating itself, it's pretty far away from the camera. It's really far away. So all three of those are not, they're not close together. So I took this slide and I kind of moved it outside the little slot where it goes and got it closer to, as close as I could, in front of the LED, but as close as I could to the iPhone. And it worked better. I got a better image of it. So at least I know what I have to do is I have to get that image when it's outside R. I have to get that LED and the ronchi grating and the camera as close together as I can. I don't exactly know how I'm going to work that because things just get in your way.
There we go.
So that's the image outside R, and it looks awfully straight, but when you see it, it means to me that I did not correct it all the way. Inside R, you see it's much better.
That's not me.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's showing as Mike. Mike, is something going on?
No,
That was coming. It's been coming in and out.
I'm looking at you guys.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Your screen shows as the active speaker when that's happening.
I have a very lousy connection. Every so often I get a unstable connection.
There.
Yeah. So it is him. I was thinking his telescope was stuck in some slew mode or something.
Oh, I can show something that Tim might be interested in. Are you getting his image? Oh, you got those.
Got one real quick.
Okay, there you go, Jerry. This is where I am inside R now.
Okay.
The edge looks fine. It's good enough for me. What I'm finding, I'm using a sub-diameter lap, and I'm using the strokes that Tom Whittemore told me to do, which is basically keeping that lap within the circumference of the mirror when you're running over it. So I'm using a parabolizing stroke, but I'm trying not to put very much of that tool and the pitch lap over the edges of the mirror. So I just don't want to turn an edge. But what's happening is that for the last 2-3 sessions, and they're each about a half an hour long, I'm not getting any correction. I'm not getting any more correction. So I don't exactly know if I want to get really feisty with this stuff or just do more of the same stroke.
Isn't that pretty close? It looks pretty close.
It's good, but when you saw that image outside, it looked the lines were just too straight. They have to be bowed outward. And in this case, it's there, but it's not quite there. The
F number on this 5.
It's 5.
Okay.
I have an image that
Looks a little undercorrected.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think that I have an image of what it's supposed to look like. I think this is it. And let me just send this off to Tom really quick. I think that's it. I think that should go to him. I hope I added it. I might not have added it.
I got it.
Okay. I was all of a sudden I realized I might not have added the image, but it'll show you what it's supposed to look like. And then and I think outside are for sure. I'm just not corrected enough, and inside you'll see that it's obviously it's not enough yet. but it's getting there. It's just that I don't know why it only corrects to a point. And then if I get feisty with it and really try to start doing some outrageous things or go to a full lap, I end up turning an edge. So one of the things I'm thinking, Jerry, is taking that subdiameter lap and doing some strokes kind of through the center and taking a little bit more time through the center. So it's going to try to deepen that. I don't think I have enough depth in the
getting it parabolized is not just deepening the center. You have to get the whole mirror. So do the parabolizing stroke.
And just keep doing it.
Even with a sub mirror. It takes longer with a mirror, with a sub diameter.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe what I should do is just sneak up on it, take my time. Every time I get, if I start getting impatient, and that's when I get into trouble.
Just measure the area of your sub-diameter tool and scale it to the area of your mirror. If the tool is half the size of a full-size tool, then it'll take you twice as long. If it's 1/3 the area, it'll take you 3 times longer with a small tool.
Okay, so there you have it. And now that right there is, and the radius of curvature now is at 81 inches, and that's where R is now.
Okay.
And it used to be, I think it was 70. It used to be a sub 5. It was 4.9 or something, and now I'm almost at like 5.1 or 5. It's just over 5.
In that case, you've been spending a lot of time with the tool on top.
Well, sure. It's because it's sub diameter. It's always on top.
It doesn't have to be, but yeah, it will be.
Yeah, and when I go to a full diameter lap, it's okay, but I think there's an issue with pressing it out. I'd have to press out with it a lot longer before I got real comfortable. The last time I tried it, I ended up turning an edge, and I was really, really discouraged at that.
I think somebody said this maybe last week, but so that left one is the perfect result, right? So if you could take your image and then size it to the same size as that, and then either flip back and forth between them or difference them.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah. No, somebody was saying to superimpose it. There's a way of doing it where you superimpose it.
Because you can see that pattern through the glasses.
Supposedly on his website, you're supposed to be able to upload your image onto it and do a superimposing on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you could make, both of them transparent, and then you vary the transparency and see how they match.
Let me show you the machinations of one of my mirrors. Oh, where'd you guys go? Can you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is a 10-inch mirror, f4.7. This was making the pitch lap. There's doing some pressing, shows in mid polish, and then it shows the various testings that I went through to end up with a very close mirror. So this is the ideal curve, and the final mirror was this line around that, and this is a 1/4 wave off of each side of it. So it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Now
I'll say
this is an f4.7. It's got a double image here, but and it's mostly corrected. So I switched to quantitative stuff and stopped. This is as far as I went with the ronchi, but this is f4.7, and you can see that it's a little more curvy. Not quite good there, but it's a little more curvy and more aggressive in the curve than
a little spherical in about in around the 60 to 70 zone.
Yeah.
And then
more spherical in here. Needs to be deeper.
Right. What I'm seeing in the mirror, when I'm seeing in my, if you're looking at your image that you had there, Jerry, the center line, how it goes a little bit spherical there. I'm noticing in in the correction I'm doing,
Yeah.
that the ideal, and then what I've got, it's thicker, it's broader in that central line, but
Yeah.
it's not broad enough. The hips, it's just not hippie enough there. So I think the center is still in need of correction. The outer edges, I believe, out in the 90 zone,
Yeah.
that too. But what I do like is that at least it's kind of consistent throughout now. I don't have 2 or 3 mirrors. I've got one.
Yeah.
And it's possible that the outside, that out at 95 to 100 zone, it may have a little bit more correction there.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it has a tendency to look like it's a turned edge. I don't think it is. I went outside R. That one image that Tom had of mine that was outside R, I didn't see any hint of a turned edge there. If anything, it might have been turned up,
Mm-hmm.
not
That's what
turned down.
I did on this mirror. What I've been urging you to do is work on the edge and get it perfect. And that's what I did here. The edge is fine. And
Right.
then I went in and finished off, but this was the last ronchi I took. From then on, it was Foucault testing.
Okay.
You
Well, I
could
can do 2
see,
things. I can take the mirror and throw it in the cell and go out and do some star testing. But before that, I think I'd like to do some of the knife edge. I don't know how that's going to go. You know, I told you guys that so many times you tried to show me, especially Bruce. He tried to show me how to write a program to do the curves like you did there, Jerry, and Mike did on his, where you're using your Excel.
Yeah, my program was written in MathCAD.
Oh.
Which I think Farshad uses. If I remember.
Oh, is that right?
No, I've never used that.
Okay. Well, that's consistent with my memory. So
I just use Excel.
one of the other ones then, between Bruce and Farshad, and whoever the third one was that did the orbital demonstration. Oh, Fred.
That was
That's Bruce.
No, there was Bruce, and then there was
conspiracy guy.
bicyclist.
Bruce uses True Basic, and I've used Maple and Python.
Okay.
For those simulations.
Okay.
Ed Kolaski.
Ed, that's it. Yes, good.
Oh, Kolaski. Okay.
Yeah, Kolaski. He used MathCAD. So.
The one I was using, and I sent this off to Stellophane. It was a program that was, I think it was called Foucault Test 2.0 or something, and I'm trying to remember who the guy was that wrote it, but he just disappeared. And it just so happened that I had a installer.
Yeah, I remember that.
For one that was, it wasn't a beta. It was actually one, I think, the very last thing that actually went. And I've been using that when I do it.
That was a good handy program. And then it disappeared, but you had copied it.
I did. And I sent it to Stellophane. They loved it because they still got it on their site. And people can download it. Rifke, the guy's name was Rifke. And the thing that I liked about it, I don't know what the math is. I mean, the programming in it was. That's the one thing that everybody warned me about, is without knowing exactly how the guy set it up, you can't really test. You can't trust it. But I did my 10 inch with it, and the thing that's nice is that you can set it up for pin sticks, or for the mask. What's that called? The Coude mask.
Yeah.
So you can set it up for either one. And the thing that I really loved about it is that Tom Whittemore would take me through the math of doing the different zones, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 zones. And then you pick the number of pins you want. Well, in this one, you can actually change those pin positions. He has one that he suggests you use, but you don't have to use those. You can actually choose the pin positions. And I did that. I did the one that Tom Whittemore gave me. And the results I got were really nice. So I'll try it again, but I'm just not sure if it's as good as what you guys are doing.
Okay.
You know, when I'm just getting used to seeing the graphs that you guys have, you know, on the one you just showed, Jerry, where you have the 2 red lines, that's your quarter wave. And you want to be in between that. And then you have the ideal curve. I'm just now beginning to be able to read that. What Rifke did in his is he had the baseline on it at the bottom of the bottom of the screen. It's just a horizontal line. That's your perfect mirror, your perfect parabola. And then above that, he has 2 or 3 lines above that on the y-axis. He has a red line going across horizontally, and that's your quarter wave. And then you can split the screen either for just one quadrant, or else, you know, split it in 2. So you can actually show the entire wavefront on both sides, and you get a sense of the curve of the wavefront. And for me, it was great because you could actually see, okay, 70 zones high, you know, the 50 zone and 90 zone, they were just right. They're perfect. What went wrong with that program is that when you did the readings on the inside, and you know what I'm talking about, when you get in that 40 zone and trying to read those pins in the 40 zone in or out, even out at the edge, those two, they're very difficult to discern when you're looking at those donuts. You're trying to put those pins right over that donut. And when you change that reading on his program, it would wildly affect the outcome of the graph. The wavefront was totally different if you just changed those parameters, the inside and the outside zone. So what I ended up doing there was I chose what was ideal. Tom Whittemore took me through this. He took me through this math one night and showed me that it doesn't matter how many pins you pick, that there's going to be a differential for a perfect parabola of something like 0.017 between one pin and the next pin in and the next pin in. There's a consistent number there. And so you can actually predict what number you should have on the inside or the outside. And that gave me some kind of stability to what I was looking at. But otherwise, it was really wild.
Bob, when you lean back, your head disappears.
I know. That's why I move around, because I see my head disappearing.
Okay. Huh.
So throw something out there. I didn't want to interrupt that train of thought of everything. I put in the chat side there a couple of links. So I came up with this idea. It's not my idea, but after watching just countless YouTube videos, and somebody in another city, they were talking to somebody about how he had done imaging, and the guy had been doing astrophotography for a long time. And he said, I did this with my observatory in New Mexico. So he apparently had some land, and he you know, some small amount of land and an observatory he could run remotely. And then I thought, wow, what an idea. You get land out in Arizona or New Mexico or something. And then, so I just started like searching on remote observatories, and there's a few people who've written a book, and they're really kind of hawking the book and everything. But I came across this thing. If let's see, I'll do the share thing on it here. See if I can find it. Oh no, I can't find it. Let's see.
There's a number of places that do that. There's New Mexico skies, and then there's a Sierra one in the Southern Sierras.
Yeah, that's what this one, Sierra Observatories.
And
Am I sharing now?
Sky Village in Arizona. What's that?
No, not yet, Bob.
Okay, let's see.
New Mexico skies has like a huge barn filled with remote telescopes, and it's like a roll-off roof barn.
Right.
So this one, you know, and the idea, yeah, this thing has, so you guys probably know more about this. So I think I'm sharing now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, this 1 arc second of seeing, you know, the magnitude, darkness, 290 clear nights and everything. And then if you go to like a gallery of what they have, you know, amazing scopes, but these are, so it's a couple of neurosurgeons who are up in Northern California, and they've got, you know, they've just got all these roll off, you know, things here with all sorts of telescopes. But I think their idea is that you go and you install your telescope, and then they have guys on site to fix it if something goes wrong. But I'm not sure how, I haven't looked into this enough to know if they rent out time on the scopes. I thought that would be kind of an interesting thing.
They offer all sorts of different things like that, depending on the site. In New Mexico skies, they have this guy there that runs out there and makes sure everything is running, but it's your scope. You go there and you set it up, or you ship it to him and he'll set it up. Then you run it remotely and you rent the place to set it up from him. Sierra Skies, it's similar. You can put your scope there and it costs about $1,000 a month to run it.
Okay.
But they will go there and maintain it. There's also one in Central Australia that has excellent seeing for the southern skies, and you can operate your telescope from here.
Okay.
I forget who runs it. It's one of the guys. His name will come to me, but he's real famous.
Malin?
Malin, I don't think so. It's, oh gosh, no, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I've met him a couple of times at the Advanced Imaging Conference. But
Dave Galt?
and so a couple of those things are like you rent your lot like in a trailer park, and then you build your observatory, you build your telescope, and you maintain it and operate it. And those are by far much more reasonable in cost.
Yeah.
Now,
So anyway, it just sounded interesting, because fighting the seeing here, and the Bortle index isn't going to change or anything here, and I just really quickly looked, in Arizona, just like piece of land out in the middle of the desert somewhere, and it's you can get like 40 acres for not that much, just like buy something. But I mean, this idea of a spot where if something goes wrong, there's somebody on site to potentially fix it.
They did that in Arizona with homestead lots, and the homeowners association forbids any exterior lighting. It's called Sky Village. And
oh, there you go. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
It was the first one I'd ever heard about.
Yeah.
And places there sell for $300,000, the home and the observatory on it. There's a place in New Mexico, right next to New Mexico skies, that where their lots, it's a development. You build a house next to your observatory and you build your observatory. But basically you own it, and it's your summer home or winter home or wherever you want to go there. So you're the one that maintains it and operates it.
Yeah.
They run about $200,000 to $300,000 there for that.
Yeah, I was just thinking of having like a piece of land, and then you don't protect the perimeter. You don't have a fence, but you have a fence around the whatever observatory you have or building roll off type thing. And I mean, this is all like distant future, but I thought be kind of interesting, when instead of fighting the seeing, locally, you just go, well, what is it now? It's perfect seeing.
There was a doctor that I used to love. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. There was a doctor that was back in like Massachusetts or
Connecticut.
What's that?
Connecticut.
Germano?
What was his name?
There's Gabani, there's Germano,
Gabani, Dr. Gabani.
No, it wasn't him. I'm trying to think. It's real famous, and he rolled this whole cart out of his garage.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and he'd roll it out there and use it and everything. And finally, he got one of these places in New Mexico skies, I think. Yeah. And now he could sit in his office and just right in front of the laptop or his computer, and then do everything remotely. And he would just put out these insane images all the time. I can't remember his name. I could go grab a book.
Yeah, it's kind of, in a way it's not, especially if you use somebody else's scope, kind of think of it like, well, you can just download images, but if you're actually creating the images, and then they at the Sierra one, they have a thing where they said the download rate, I mean, probably what you'd have them do is just, I don't know, either one of these higher capacity sites, where they share, high number of gigabytes, or you just have them mail you like a high capacity thumb drive with all the images, and then you process them at home or something. But I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Is that like a crazy thing to do, or what do you think?
No, guys, do
It's fine.
Bob Gendler. The name Bob
Gendler. That's it. Tony Gendler.
Yep. Tony Gendler.
Okay.
No, Bob.
Richard Gendler.
It's Bob Gendler, I think.
Bob Gendler. Yes, thanks.
Some of those, like the Sky Village,
Yeah.
you can rent. You'll often see them for rent in the want ads in Sky and Telescope, where you can rent one of those houses there, and you could try out what that's like.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a good way to do it. Yeah.
But the thing is that just doing it remotely, there's no fun for me in that. I like twiddling with my own instrument out in the backyard.
Well, and my thought, I'd still be doing that too. I would, I'd not give that up.
Yeah.
And I'd have a simpler setup at home. But if you had something like that remote, it just, I don't know. It just sounded kind of.
I spent so much of my life in my career sitting in front of a computer. Even sitting in front of a computer for a hobby is tough.
Yeah.
I could see that. See, Gendler's deal was different. He had all the weather over there, so he couldn't always go out. And this way it allowed him to just sit in a nice warm house, and it didn't, he had somebody overlooking the sites. So whenever the weather was bad, they'd shut the roof. And that's the whole thing, Bob. That's the whole thing. You need a place where what the weather is there on site.
Yeah.
And so if there's any problem, you're going to save your equipment, because can you imagine being at home and going, oh, it's a nice night for looking, and you turn it on and open the roof and it's hailing,
Yeah.
So
Well, ideally,
that's one big.
Ideally, instead of renting the land, you just rent the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is that thing of hands-on. Like I had my, you see shooting stars and things, which is kind of cool. But I was actually looking through the finder scope. I got a new finder scope, by the way, with the right angle thing, and that's just so much nicer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I got an Orion 9x50 thing, and it's just a really nice finder scope. Haven't had that much chance to use it, but I was playing around with it. But I was looking through the other finder scope, and as I'm trying to kind of adjust it so it's aligned with the telescope. So as I go and do the star alignment thing, it'll be closer. I see something faint move through it, and it was a satellite, but it was a very, very faint satellite, moved right through the finder scope. And that's the kind of thing that's kind of rare, that when you're out hands-on, that you get to see stuff like that. So
it's one of the things, just when COVID broke out, and I think Chuck remembers, I brought my TeleView to some of the star parties, and I bought a new right angle finder from Stellarview. The guys up in Austin, and it was maddening because the ones I had before, you'd have the crosshairs that were non-illuminated, and every time you would get the image in focus, the crosshairs were out of focus. And then if you put the crosshairs in focus, the sky was out of focus. But this one, the Stellarviews, you could not only illuminate the crosshairs, but you could also focus the sky and the crosshairs. It was really nice. It was a complete new world to me. I'd never had that. And Joe Doyle was always saying, why don't you use a right angle finder? What's wrong with you? And I thought it was impossible, but finally getting that, what a difference. I'm with you, Bob. You could see little things going through it, but can you imagine not breaking your neck looking up through one of those?
I know. I hate the regular finders. Oh, they're horrible.
God, the red dot finders, you break your neck, and all of a sudden I wasn't doing that. And you could actually see like the Pleiades, you could see it. And, instead of like cranking your neck underneath the scope and going, somebody pull me up, it's crazy. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I always have the problem. I have the light on my head, and the red thing, and then I try to put my head to the side of the thing for the finder, and then I got to move that out of the way, and it's just like, But,
what's that, Tom?
That's a Sierra remote telescope. Location showing the roll-offs.
Yeah, it's got those 4 giant ones and then a bunch of smaller ones there. Yeah.
Now, if you're a member of the Los Angeles Astronomical Society, and you don't have to go to their meetings to be a member, just send in your money. They have a set of concrete slabs with utilities out in Kuyama. And they have
Oh,
a 15
okay.
Newtonian out there, and then they have slabs so you can set up your own equipment on it and stuff.
Oh,
Free to members of the club.
wow.
I found it once on Google Earth, so I sort of knew where to find it and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
we used years ago when I had a motorcycle, we used to ride through New Kiyama out there, do a whole loop through there.
How far away is that, Bob?
It's like a 5-hour loop. You go to Santa Maria and then you cut on 166, and if you do the whole loop, it comes out to Pine Mountain, of Ojai, that area, and come back through Ojai either. Yeah, so it's on motorcycles. It was like a 5-hour loop.
It's
So
about 2 hours from me.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
About an hour from Gary's place in the Pomo.
Isn't the LAAS place though in Lockwood Valley?
Yeah, isn't that in Kuyama? That's the same place. I may be off with my names of the places out there.
Yeah, I don't think that's Kuyama. Lockwood Valley is near Mount Pinos, though.
It's on the way. It's on the 166.
It's out on the
166
plains.
runs right
It's not
through
in
it.
the mountains. It's in the foothills of those.
Yeah, it's definitely in the middle of nowhere. Their famous thing is if you go in the town of Kiyama, this was many years ago, they had buffalo burgers. You could have a buffalo burger.
There was a period where those were fashionable.
And the ostrich burgers.
Yeah, ostrich.
When we were in Australia, there was a dish you could get at one of the restaurants that said, "Eat the national flag." And so kangaroo and emu.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then next door they had crocodile.
When I was there we saw McDonald's that routinely served lamb burgers.
Yeah. And on your cheeseburger, you could also get a fried egg.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That they do just different customs. Different customs.
Get beets on your hamburger.
Wow.
Yeah, man, you can hear the linings on your veins closing down.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna take off. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to figure this thing out. I'm wondering, Tom, do you think that Zoom will work on XP, on an XP platform?
I bet it would.
I think it would.
I'm going to try and plug that in and see if I can't get it going, because this is nice. But every time I try to do anything simple, and then for you guys, it's nothing. For me, it's like it's like reinventing the wheel. So I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Go to Costco and get a Chromebook.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Good night.
Fun.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much for doing this, Tom.
Yeah,
it's really, in the day of COVID, everybody's starving to do something. Well, we've got this, and so
Yeah.
right?
I was going to say earlier, I think Zoom got Company of the Year or something for everybody's using Zoom so much. So.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Yeah. We're gonna do it.
No doubt.
Javier and I have been working on doing one. You know how we used to go to Santa Barbara Junior High every year?
Right.
Give a talk in the theater and then have the telescopes outside. So this year we're going to try to do a Zoom star party for them. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So
okay,
like
everybody.
A Zoom outreach thing, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Get the MallinCam on the telescope and just do screen sharing to show the views.
Yeah.
Hopefully
that'll
you'll have
work.
a clear night.
Well, if they don't have a clear night, I have a bunch of videos through the MallinCam that I saved up. So this is what we would have shown you.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. I mean,
All right.
there's going to be.
See you, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
Bye.
That's necessity is the mother of invention, and I think with this COVID, I think a lot of people are coming up with great ideas.
Yeah, and we got to get ready to hibernate for at least a few months here. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. Hey guys, I'm going to take off. See you next week. Okay.
Hasta lumbago.
In the meeting. Bye, Hank.
Yeah. See you, Hank.
Bye all. I'm going to go. See ya.
I'm ending.
Okay. See everybody.
Bye.
Ending.